like verse number 52, and this is you may have heard the verse or the discussion about satanic verses. That basically the idea here is that the Prophet was reciting in Surah Najm, which criticizes the idols, and then Shaitan basically made him say something which praised some of the idols, and upon this the Quraysh got really happy and prostrated because they thought the Prophet was compromised. First of all, there's no authenticity for this story. The chains are either fabricated or extremely weak. Number two is that it would make no sense because the whole surah is criticizing, or the context of the surah is criticizing the idols, and then you have a verse which does the opposite. It would make no coherent sense. Thirdly, the Prophet ﷺ had been made so many offers to compromise that you can just accept your idols, we'll make a deal, and he'd cut them out, he'd refused all of them. So why would he now undercut his whole authority by compromising here? Al-Maturidi says something interesting. He says if this was true, and the Prophet ﷺ couldn't tell the difference between Satan and Jibreel, because Jibreel brings revelation, then when Jibreel comes to correct him, how would he know it's Jibreel or Satan? It doesn't make any sense, does it? And also we have the belief that prophets are protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects them from Shaitan, which is what the verse says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ مِن رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. That before you, we'd sent messengers and prophets, except that Shaitan, now tamanna is where it's a bit of discussion here. Doesn't mean, many scholars said it meant recitation, but tamanna usually means wish. So if you read it as recitation, that when he recited, Shaitan tries to interfere with the recitation. فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ ثُمَّ يُحْكِمَ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes what Shaitan tries to do, and he makes the verses firm. But if you translate it as wish, it means that the prophet, all these prophets wished guidance for their people, and Shaitan tries to interfere with that, which also makes a lot of sense. In Sahih Bukhari, what the way the story is described is that the Surah Najm was so powerful that when the Prophet ﷺ goes into sajda, in Surah Najm, at the end of Surah Najm there's a prostration anyway, the kuffar, just out of the sheer power of the surah, also went into prostration without realizing, and that's where some people thought maybe there's been some sort of compromise or whatever, but that's what the story is in Sahih Bukhari. Another thing is to understand that how do these things find their way into books? You might be thinking, well, the scholars of tafsir, like Tabari and so on, they were just interested in gathering everything that's been mentioned, right? And they left it to the scholars who were reading these books, because they're written for scholars, to look at the chains and make up their own mind what is authentic and what's not. So not everything that's in the books of tafsir is authentic.